the insiders have entered the sphere. It's something in here, fellas. This is some kind of building. Going to be a fun night. But, Pierre, let's keep our eye on the ball here with the Tampa Bay Lightning and Steven Stamkos. A pretty poignant tweet that you tweeted today from the agent, a quote that makes it pretty crystal clear what's going to happen here.
Well, I don't know if it made you emotional, but I think there's a lot of emotions in that negotiation right now. Yeah. He's been the face of the franchise for a long time, and they had another negotiation session yesterday here in Las Vegas, did not produce the solution to their stalemate. I think they're $1.5 to $2 million apart on a long-term deal. Don Meehan, the agent, simply said to me today, he will be a free agent on Monday. He, of course, being Steven Stamkos, and you never thought the day would come, but I will say this, there's always a chance of an 11th hour new offer from the Lightning, but in the meantime, Stamkos preparing himself mentally to hit the market. The Nashville Predators, as we've said before, will be among the aggressive suitors for Steven Stamkos, but there will be other teams interested as well.
Well, and the biggest issue for Tampa here is just cap space, right? I don't think it's much deeper than that. And the kind of money that they're looking at Steven Stamkos, something like $24 million on a long-term deal, I think you can get it on half that length of deal in a place like Nashville. And so I would install them personally as the favorite most likely to land them because they certainly have more flexibility to do that kind of deal.
Carolina Hurricanes paid a price to bring in Jake Guentzel. It always eases the blow, though, when you can re-sign him and it ends up being long-term, Pierre. But are they going to be able to? What's happening?
Boy, they sure feel like they put their best foot forward here. They've put an offer on the table in the last 24 to 48 hours for 8 years at $8 million a season, which they believe is basically what Guentzel and his camp, Agent Van Atkinson, wanted at the outset of these negotiations several weeks ago. But here's the thing. Monday's right around the corner, and Jake Guentzel can go to market and talk to a number of teams. So all I can tell you is the offer's been on the table, and as of now, the Hurricanes have not heard back, yay or nay, from Guentzel's camp. So does this mean that Guentzel's going to market Monday, or that he needs more time to reflect on this offer?
All right, Dregs, let's get to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So lots of chatter. Fans want to know about Mitch Marner. Maybe that's for another day. Brad Treliving, the general manager, seems uber-focused on trying to shore up the right side of his blue line in particular. There are some candidates out there, but the question is he able to get to the high-stakes poker tables, or is he stuck looking over the red rope at the guys paying the big price?
He's trying to get in the game, but that is the issue. And look, the focus for the Maple Leafs is in bringing in two defensemen, preferably right shot. You can do that via trade, or you can do it in free agency, maybe a combination of both. Chris Tanev is still at the top of the list for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they might go as high as a 5-6 year term on this guy, which sounds a little tough. But when you look at the battle that they would have to fight against the Dallas Stars, taxation-wise, in some of the other markets that are tax-friendly, this is what teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs have to do. Nikita Zadorov is of keen interest to Brad Treliving and the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I'm told that this guy's got 10 or more teams interested in him. All of the original 6 teams are very interested in Zadorov. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Stanley Cup champion, is another defenseman of interest. And I mentioned trade possibilities in Toronto and elsewhere. I mean, John Marino is a name that we've heard from the New Jersey Devils who could be in play.
All right, CJ, quick hitters on 2 guys, Patrick Kane and Oiler netminder Jack Campbell.
Yeah, Patrick Kane, look, he's back this second time in 7 months. He's essentially a free agent after signing in Detroit in November. And, you know, Detroit remains a very distinct possibility for Kane. He's, you know, wanting to see his options here, but it sounds like the Red Wings probably, I might call them the front runner at this point. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Rangers, but I'm not sure that they can get to the kind of money it's going to take to sign Kane just because of their cap situation. And keep an eye on the Buffalo Sabres, his hometown team. I know that they've shown interest in the past and might be able to get involved here. But Kane working through his options. As for Jack Campbell, obviously the Oilers are looking to get out from under his contract. They've signed Calvin Pickard now to be the backup to Stuart Skinner. I think that they're still having some trade discussions right now, trying to move off that money. Obviously, you'd have to have some kind of sweetener to make that sort of deal. And the buyout window does run through Sunday, so that remains an option if they're not able to move on from Campbell.
We were chatting with Craig Conroy yesterday at his media availability, Dregs. You know, we asked him about the fact that important players in their lineup have signed long-term deals with an idea in mind of what they were in for in the life of those contracts. It's been a 180, and it feels like the Calgary Flames are really tearing it down and open for business. Then they trade Mangiapane yesterday, even giving more of that indication that it's a real teardown. So the sense is that they're open for business big time, and that'll go to Nazem Kadri immediately.
Right. Mangiapane was more of a contract issue, though, right? And being a long-term fit, and they just didn't see it. They're willing to use one of the R words in Calgary, but it's not rebuild, it's reset. Reset the roster. So they're going to try and be creative in this transition. So they are not looking at a rebuild, and that's music to the ears of Nazem Kadri. He likes Calgary. He signed there long-term. He would like to stay. He's got the no-move clause protection. But if a reset turns into something more significant, then I think the speculation around Nazem Kadri is fair, but right now it is not.
All right. Well, the rest of us are wandering here completely in awe of the Sphere. The insiders keeping their eyes firmly on the ball.